Hello, today I would like to show you how to make a crocheted pocket prayer cloth using a filet crochet technique and a cross design. For this project, the materials you will need include a size G crochet hook. It's also known as a size 6 or 4.25 millimeter. You will need a yarn needle, a pair of scissors, and worsted weight yarn. Today I will be using Caron Simply Soft yarn, which is a 4-ply soft worsted weight yarn. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we need to do is make a slip knot. We're going to do this by making a bend in our yarn, twisting it clockwise, inserting a small amount of the yarn which is coming from the underside of our twist, inserting it into the loop that was made by the twist, and pulling that loop through. This creates our slip knot. The knot will stay in place, and if we pull the end of our yarn, it pulls the loop. We're going to take our hook, insert it into the loop, pull the knot close to the hook so that we can begin our chain stitches. To do a chain stitch, you will take the yarn and wrap it over your hook. This is called a yarn over. And then you will pull that yarn through the loop. That makes one chain. We'll do this again. Yarn over, pull it through the loop. We will continue to do this for a total of 17 chains. I will come back when I've completed the 17 chains. Okay, I have now completed 17 chains, and this is what my foundation chain looks like. From here, we need to make double crochets all the way across for our first row. We're going to begin by counting the chains away from the hook, not counting the loop that the hook is on. So we begin 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to insert our hook into this 4th chain from the hook, making sure that we have gone under the top 2 loops and we have 1 loop on the bottom. We're going to yarn over and pull the yarn through. We should now have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, and pull through the last 2 loops. This is how you make a double crochet. I will do it again so you can see it. Yarn over. We're going to go to our next chain. We're going to insert, making sure that we've gone under the top 2 loops and we have 1 on the bottom. We'll yarn over and pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, and pull through the next 2. We're going to continue in this manner, yarning over, inserting, pulling through, yarning over, pulling through 2, and pulling through 2, all the way till the end to complete 15 double crochets. I will come back when I'm at the chain. I've completed the chain before the end. Okay, I am at my last chain for row number 1. I'm going to yarn over and I will insert my hook I want to make sure I have 2 on the top and 1 on the bottom. I'm going to yarn over and pull it through. I will yarn over and pull through 2 and pull through 2. This completes the first row, and you should have 15 double crochet. Row number 2. Before we do row number 2, what I like to do is weave in my ends. So I'm going to take my yarn needle and I'm going to tunnel under the stitches here. And doing this, you hide your ends. You want it to be as neat as possible, and you don't want to just cut the end because then your work may unravel. So it's best to weave your ends. I'm going to squeeze it a little bit to have it bunched while I grab my end here, my end yarn. And if you've got a nice fresh clean cut, you can just squeeze it, and usually the eye of the needle is such that you should be able to just thread your yarn through. I'm going to pull it a little bit so it'll have a little bit of a bend on it, and then holding my stitches, I'm just going to kind of pull while I'm watching this loop here. And once I see that the loop has kind of gone through, usually I like to hold it as I pull my yarn through. That way it looks neat. Now, taking my scissors, I'm going to carefully cut this tail here. And I'm being careful not to cut my work. And it tunnels in very nicely. That way, when I get to the end, I don't have to weave in my beginning yarn. So now we're going to pick up our loop here, and we're going to begin row 2. You're going to yarn over and pull through and make a chain 3. That's 1, 2, and 3. We're going to turn our work, and the chain 3 counts as the first double crochet for every row. We will not need to put a stitch here because this is part of the first double crochet. So we'll yarn over, and instead of going here, we're going to go to the next stitch. So we'll go on here. We're going to make 5 double crochet so that we have a total of 6. And I like to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to begin our filet work. We're going to chain 1. We're going to skip the next stitch, and we're going to put a double crochet in the stitch after the one we skipped. We're going to chain 1 again. We're going to skip the next stitch, and we're going to go into the stitch after the one we skipped. And then we're going to put a double crochet in the remaining 5 double crochets on this row. This is our last one for the row. I like to go under the chain and then through so that I still have 2 chains on top. It seems to hold the stitch a little bit better. I've now completed row 2. We have 2 chain 1 spaces and we have 13 double crochets. Row 3, you're going to chain 3. You're going to put a double crochet in the next 5 stitches. Chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, put a double crochet in the double crochet of the previous row, chain 1 and skip the chain 1 of the previous row, put a double crochet in the next double crochet of the previous row, and then you're going to put a double crochet in the next remaining 5 double crochets to complete the row. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This completes row 3. You're going to repeat row 3 2 more times for a total of 5 rows from the beginning. I will come back when I have completed row 5. Okay, I have now completed row 5. This is what your work should look like. We're going to now move on to row 6. Chain 3. Turn your work. Double crochet in the next double crochet of the previous row. Chain 1. Skip the next stitch and double crochet in the next double crochet. Chain 1. Skip the next stitch and double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1. Skip the next chain 1 space. This is at the center. Put a double crochet and the double crochet in the center, chain 1. Skip the chain 1 space here as well. Put a double crochet in the next double crochet here. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, double crochet here. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, double crochet in the last 2 double crochets. That completes row 6. Please go to part 2, which will show the second half of this project.